We're here with another episode of Pottawattamie County Routes. I am Todd Studer, and we have a special guest in studio today that, okay, full disclosure, I just met her a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But this is Toni Wildasin, and you work for State Farm. Actually, you work across the river, even though you make your home in Council Bluffs, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Right on 76th and Dodge, kind of the heart of Omaha.
Right. Did you set out to find a job in that area, or was it one of those, okay, this is like a convenient opportunity. Here's the job. This is where I'm going.
Yeah. So it actually all just kind of boils back to Council Bluffs and just being like an incredible place to live.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up in a really small town, Northwest Missouri. Found my way here in Council Bluffs, bumped into a good neighbor, State Farm agent, and it just kind of unfolded from there.
Right. And you also have a little bit of experience in doing what we're sitting here doing now. You were on a podcast for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a group right across the river, 1 Million Cups. I did help with the entrepreneurial podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I hosted it for a little short of 100 episodes.
Wow,
And
no, that's not a small thing.
No.
That's a pretty good commitment. Was it a weekly? How did you release it?
Yeah, sure. So we would record about 2 or 3 episodes a week, and then the producer would just get them kicked out weekly.
Yeah. So what I always encourage people to do is if you set aside a block of time, batch record is what I call it. So do multiple episodes in the same time coming into the studio, then makes it a little easier. It's not quite as much of a time commitment.
Sure.
To be able to do that, because you're very well aware that it's not just sitting down and talking. You probably had a little bit of research and prep work going in behind it, right?
Yeah, very little. I kind of would scour their LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
kind of get details from what was going on within their business. And then I really just stuck to 4 questions. Of course, a lot of organic questions
Sure.
just came about. But yeah, just finding out who was the entrepreneur, like what inspired them, how did they, steps that brought them to where they were at, and really just getting to know that person.
What value did you find in having that podcast and doing that and having the opportunity to talk with so many people?
Sure. So it really was an opportunity to get some additional skills. I feel like one of my God gifts is kind of the gift of gab. I could really talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Of course, that also comes from my small town roots. But it really just gave me an opportunity to try to close the gap between Council Bluffs and Omaha. There's kind of this across the river redheaded sibling situation that I've learned about as I moved here. So I was really just trying to help close that gap. Like, we're siblings. Like, let's just get along and help each other.
Yeah, I've been saying it for a while, and I think I've just said it on this show recently that, listen, Council Bluffs and Omaha are 2 separate places, and they are governed by 2 separate entities in Iowa and Nebraska. We need a cooperative relationship.
Yeah.
Obviously we do.
Yeah.
But with an understanding that, everything doesn't work exactly the same on both sides, does it? No. And you're, I think, in a very key place to be able to describe that, because you're in both places every day, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the great things about being a good neighbor is that, we're mobile. So I can go in and sit with people at their kitchen table and have a conversation about what risks do they have. Like having that very uncomfortable conversation about life insurance. Most people don't want to talk about. I'm very passionate about it. And so just crossing the bridge over here, getting to kitchen tables and helping local people out.
Well, see, now you're sitting at a table now. So this is just like old home, right?
That's exactly right.
I met you at a group called CenterSphere, which there are many CenterSphere chapters around the metro and in Council Bluffs and in Omaha, and they're down in Bellevue, and just many different places. I don't know if they're in some of the smaller communities, though.
It'd be great that they were.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not sure that is so. With our group, we're CBO2. So CenterSphere, again, has multiple locations. Council Bluffs, because CenterSphere is kind of one industry professional. They grew. Julie Westman helped really blow up that group. So now there's CBO2. Now we're building and we're really looking to add additional members, whether it be restaurants, trades, roofers, plumbers, car mechanics, anybody.
Right. And it takes all different industries, and it's more than just providing referrals, isn't it?
Absolutely,
You know,
it is.
it's when you truly can sit down across the table from someone, learn a little bit more about who they are and what it is that they do. And I think the most important part is the why
Mhm.
behind what it is that
Sure.
they do. Then you're truly creating those relationships that are needed in small town business.
Yeah, absolutely. And, because I come from a small area and that's really close to my heart, in the meeting that you just spoke at here recently, learned that a good majority of our group grew up in small towns. So you really have that, small town sweetheart, the same morals and values. Like you just want to help people. And so more often than not, I mean, of course, we're, referring business to each other, but more often than not, we're gathering to help with our initiatives, whether that be collecting items for Trivium or setting in at meetings with Mosaic. Or recently we gathered here at Bayless Park for Sail On and Fly High. Um, the collective bloom, really just things that each of us are passionate about and ways that we can help impact this community.
And learn probably a lot more about some different organizations, because there's going to be some of those that you or someone else in the group wouldn't have been familiar with until making that connection. And it's really about that. I talked a long time ago, and it was actually a State Farm agent that is in Bellevue, Nebraska, and he said that for him, it is you support your family and you support your community.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very passionate about that. And I think that's true regardless of where you live.
Absolutely.
That it's important that we support that community in any way that we can. And one of those ways is by getting behind some of the nonprofits. If you don't have money to be able to donate, you can help with your time.
Absolutely.
And you can just referrals, clicking share on a social media post. There's so many different ways to be able to do that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that's really one of the reasons that I think everything for me is kind of God-led. But to be working in such a big location and being asked to join the small group here where I reside, that's really one of the biggest things I'm getting from it, is just being able to help each other and just be a good neighbor.
Looking for something fun June 27th? Head to Quaker Steak and Lube in Council Bluffs for Wheels of Courage from 11 to 2. Check out classic cars, hot rods, muscle cars, and more while supporting a great cause. Registration is only $20 and all proceeds benefit the Jenny Edmondson Foundation Cancer Center Charitable Patient Care Fund. Judging starts at noon with awards at 1 o'clock, trophies in 17 categories. For details or to register, visit jehfoundation.org. Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get things back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke, and that can oftentimes lead to mold, and you may be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. It's easy. You give Cindy Schmader a call with Service Master Restore by Schmader. Her phone number, 402-339-9911. Well, and, let's give her a little praise that it doesn't hurt being around somebody like Julie, because I don't know of anything that she does halfway.
Right. That's exactly right.
And she has multiple businesses, and it seems that anytime that I see her, she's working on one of them. I don't ever see this woman relax.
Yeah, no. And then even just within her own personal relationships, I'm always hearing about bonus kids. And, whether it be from one of her endeavors, one of her businesses, she's just, grabbed onto somebody and just pouring love into them.
Right, and this is just one of the people that are in your group. How big is the CenterSphere group now?
Sure, yeah. So I believe it's around 7. I have a pretty good memory, but I hope I don't forget anyone. We have Brandy Madsen. She's with Edward Jones. Rachel Nagust, Anytime Teas. We have Davina O'Hara.
Yep,
She was just here.
She was just here, yeah.
Yeah. That was a great episode, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You guys supported well. We have Miss Anderson from NAMI and Jake Stander from Heartland Properties.
Yes.
And I know I'm going to forget somebody.
Well, I think the idea, though, here is that this is a growing group.
Growing group, exactly.
And you are actively looking to be able to add folks to that. And I do know that with CenterSphere, small investment to get involved with it. It's not like it's thousands of dollars, but it is still, because I think that, when you put a little bit into it, it kind of keeps you honest and keeps you focused on that okay, I have something invested in with this.
Sure.
So I want to make sure that not only am I utilizing this the best way, but I'm also providing myself
Sure.
into it.
Yeah, yeah. And Stephanie Brownlee, she's also in the group with Rate Mortgage. That's one of the things that she's about. She's talking about all of the ways to just give a little to others, and that investment, it will come back to you.
Yeah, I've seen that over and over with a lot of different places. And it's one of the reasons that I do what I do, because my philosophy is always, I'm going to put something out there first and let people see in these small towns, I actually do care.
Sure.
I am from here. And what happens here matters to me. And I would put that even anywhere across Southwest Iowa.
Yeah.
That when I hear about somebody being successful with something in Griswold or Stanton or Neola or it's a little bit of pride.
Sure.
For this region.
That's exactly right. I'm going home this weekend to celebrate the Elmo's annual firework. They have a good gathering for that. And it's been a real long time since I visited one of those, but my heart is just yearning. I just can't wait to get back in front of the small town folks and ask them, like, how are things going? Like, what has changed? And, like, what things are new?
Well, Elmo is a small town.
Almost a very small town. Well, it used to be population 130.
Yeah, used to be.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's grown much. I'll get back to you on those details.
We'll get the details on that later. Primrose Retirement Community in Council Bluffs believes home should be a place of comfort, connection, and care. From personalized support to engaging daily activities, everything they do is designed to help residents live fully and confidently. At Primrose, that's their priority, to put the quality of their residents' care and daily needs at the top of their list each day and every day. It's not just about where you live, it's about how you live. Learn more about life at Primrose by going to primroseretirement.com and then contact Jamie Bush at Primrose and discover a place that truly puts people first. Your home for all natural health solutions in Southwest Iowa is Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. Serving the area since 1997, Bambi is located at 805 South Main Street in Council Bluffs and has a wide selection of vitamins, supplements, essential oils, herbal remedies, and a lot more. Staffed with over 37 years of experience, Bambi is putting health back in your hands. Explore your wellness options online at bambisgreenacres.com. Something I used to love about Missouri, and especially Elmo probably didn't have its own school system. Were they part of another one?
No. So, there was about 3 or 4 different towns that gathered in Burlington Junction, Missouri.
Okay.
So about graduating class of 30.
About 30. My KMA days, and I was doing sportscasting, and we'd go down into Missouri sometimes and do ball games. And I remember being in Rockport and completely having forgotten that at the time, and this would have been like 98 or 99, that fireworks were legal in Missouri.
That's right.
Weren't in Iowa.
Sure.
And Rockport scored a touchdown, and the guys up at the top of the hill from their porch start shooting off fireworks.
Wonderful.
They're up there at home watching the game. And I just kind of jumped. And I said, oh, yeah. While things are very, very much the same, not everything is this. That was just one of the tiny little differences that I just really appreciated being able to go down there and handle that. So how often do you get a chance to talk to people about CenterSphere and to let them know just how valuable the group's been to you?
Yeah. So, I meet with policyholders daily. A lot of times they're small business owners, and that's exactly it. I'm just like, hey, have you found a place to network? Have you found a home? Have you been able to just get connected with people that are, interested in investing in you as well? So, I feel like it's, there's a daily opportunity to do so, but any opportunity that I can get, I'm definitely looking for.
Yeah, that's, I get that. Always just being in tune to the chance.
Sure.
To have that conversation, and especially when it's something that you're passionate about. And I can tell that it didn't take very long, did it, after you joined, that you're feeling like it's the right place?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. We were kind of joking around. My watch was yelling at me the other day when we were talking about our group and just growing and getting together. My heart's just going through the roof, and my watch is like, hey, be careful, your heart rate's just chitter-chattering. I'm like, that's exactly right. Like, I really have a good passion about just getting together and supporting the cause.
And I also, it's a very diverse group right now. I mean, you've got people from all different industries, which is part of it. I mean, that's the goal, is to plug somebody in from an industry so there is value there to them. But it could be from any industry. I
Absolutely.
mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
know, that having Davina there, I think, is a perfect example of that.
Oh, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. And it's also just a really good opportunity too to, like you said, like open your mind and see things that you just didn't realize were an option or didn't realize existed.
Plus, also you start to have ideas that you never would have thought of before when you make a connection with an industry that it just hadn't occurred to you.
Hmm.
Happens to me all the time that I meet somebody and next thing I know, we're talking, oh, wait a minute, I have an idea
Hmm.
about that.
Hmm.
It was sprung from a conversation that I probably wouldn't have had
Sure.
in any other realm other
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah, and another great thing is that as things are coming up, for example, I'm looking for a photographer. My daughter's going to be a senior this next year,
Hmm.
so I have to remind myself in our group meeting next week. Hey, who do you know? So it's just a really good opportunity to expand your options.
Yeah, and that's something else with that is you can get referrals even from people that are not in the group because someone else in that group has an experience
That's exactly
with that
right.
person.
Yeah.
And yeah, when it comes to like photographers, it that relationship is pretty important, and you need to be able to know that you've made a connection
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah.
So, because I'm sure that your daughter,
Yeah.
that she has in her mind what she wants these pictures to look
Sure.
like, and it takes the right person to be able to pull that off and to be able to put that together.
Yeah, yeah, and just being around like-minded people, I just know that, hey, if I ask Julie, if I ask Brandy, hey, Rachel, who do you know? It's going to be someone that's close to their heart too. So it's going to be easier to make that connection.
So, how big did the first group get before Julie split off? Do you know? I mean, I'm not sure how big it was, and because I'm sure it was for her initially because she was running that group.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I believe it's around 20 or 30 people.
right. So she saw, okay, we need to branch off and
Expand.
create another one. And when she uh, was involved with that CenterSphere group before, way back
Hmm.
when I was with it, it was another entity that I was doing back
Sure.
then. There wasn't that many. It might have been 10 or 12,
Really?
I think.
Hmm.
So it has just continued to
Spread like
grow.
wildfire.
That's what happens
Yeah.
with these kind of things. But it's also what happens in small towns. Now, whether, Council Bluffs is a small town, it's just the biggest small town,
Hmm.
or the other smaller communities
Yeah.
around the area.
Yeah.
If you're within, say, a 30 or 40-minute drive time coming in, and that's what we want to do is put out a pitch for businesses in those
Yes.
areas.
Yes. Shenandoah. We did have a gentleman come and visit. I believe he was a roofer from Shenandoah. We're like, hey, Red Oak, like Glenwood, come on, we want you. Come to our group.
Right. So come on up and take a look and see everything that's going on with CenterSphere. And plus, for me, whether it's Julie or whether it is another entrepreneur, I need to be around that energy. I need to be able to feed from people who think just a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
what it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of stubborn in my ways sometimes. So, yeah, to have somebody just mention something and not at me, but just mention it, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I like that way of thinking, that direction versus just being attacked with it,
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Is this feeling like old home? Coming in, sitting down, having a conversation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think though, the opposite role is that I was hosting and I was able to ask all of the questions. So do you mind if I open this up and ask you a few?
Oh, hit it. I've done this before. And as a matter of fact, I've got a friend of mine. I just talked about her recently on another podcast that she's doing something similar to what I'm doing, only in Nebraska.
Hmm.
And she's focused on small towns. Hers is audio only,
Okay.
where we're doing video.
Yeah.
And it's Sheila Jenkinson. She's been on the show. You've seen her.
Sure.
But anytime that we would switch roles and she would interview me, I said, all right, I got to sit back here and see what I can,
Yeah. Yeah. Think of the things. What are the things?
All right,
Yeah.
let's see what you got.
Yeah. So I think that podcasts are a big craze right now. A lot of people are interested in doing them, maybe not quite sure where to start, where to go. What inspired you to jump on the podcast, and what advice would you give to somebody that's on the fence considering it?
Well, inspiration was just my media background
Mhm.
with radio. I was a somebody had suggested to me about podcasts going back to 2017 or 2018. And it was somebody that I knew from my tiny little high school in Northwest Iowa. And he said, hey, did you ever think about doing podcasting? And my initial thought is, that's silly. I don't care about the rerun of Friends last night or whatever it is that they're doing these podcasts about.
Sure.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And then as I started to near the end of my radio career, and I realized that this was not the industry that I wanted to be in anymore, but still having a love for the process, to sit down across a table or across a booth somewhere and have a conversation with someone. That still mattered to me. And I started looking a little bit deeper into it. And then I realized that this platform can work in a small market. And this is not something that I see very many places at all, of people using this as a new form of media.
Sure.
On a local, small level.
Mhm.
Large, yes.
Yeah.
Large market, I see it all the time. But small market, not so much.
Yeah.
And it still works.
Mhm.
It works just the way that small market radio works. This works.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why so many businesses have jumped on and wanted to be attached to this and sponsor this, because they see the value to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if there is a certain type of person that you're interested in getting on your show, getting in here to visit with, what type of person does that look like?
Somebody with a story. And that's it. And everybody has one. That's the
That's true.
key.
That is the key.
And learning about that, because there is value in telling that story. And I have interviewed everyone from one of the first interviews that I did going way back before podcasting was my great aunt, who was over 99 at the time.
Oh.
And we sat down with a camera and did an interview, just learning more about her. And it was fascinating.
Sure.
I asked her about, because she was still driving.
Wow. Wow.
I think just a week before I did that, she had driven herself to the casino to go play the nickel slots.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I asked her the question about driving now versus driving then. And what I'm thinking is she was younger, so it would have been simpler. She said, no, it's much easier to drive now. We got power steering. You know how hard those old cars were to drive?
I can't imagine.
And I didn't even think about that. This was a learning opportunity for me to be able to sit down, and that's what I love to be able to do. There's a reason I don't have notes in front of me, unless I've got several people and I need to remember their names.
Sure.
So, but other than that, I don't prepare questions. Because I want to learn and I want to find out about it. And that's what people respond to on the shows.
Yeah, it's incredible. As you'd mentioned, I had hosted the podcast in Omaha. And for me, I didn't have the industry background that you do. I didn't have the radio competence that you do. And so I really just, initially I thought, okay, I'm going to write down all of these questions. And what I found myself doing was not really listening to the guest. I was thinking about what's the next thing that I'm going to say. And so more often than not, I was asking them something that they had just answered.
Yep.
So I scratched that idea and I just said, all right, we're going to just stick to these 4 questions. And then it just organically grew.
Well, to recognize that, I think shows how good you are at it. So you should give some thought to it of getting back in, really, because, I firmly believe that we're just in the beginning stages of what this industry can be. And technology just keeps advancing and things keep progressing.
Mhm.
I don't know what it's going to be like in 5 years. I have no idea.
Sure.
But I'm going to go on the journey and I'm going to find out. This is what it is like today.
Mhm.
So if you have that skill, my belief and my advice would be to use that skill.
Yeah.
And if you can sit down and talk with somebody in that way, and obviously you can because you're doing it right now,
Sure. Thanks.
then do it. And because there's so much value past just how many views or listens you happen to get. There's so much value in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think I didn't mention before, but one of the biggest things was just it had given me confidence and so much advice. Just learning, hearing people where they felt that they had struggled and
Right.
things that they have overcome. And it's just, just that champion mentality. There's another hill and just keep going.
Well, let me give you an opportunity before we run out of time here. Make a pitch for your boss.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly okay to do it. I don't care.
Sure.
So,
Well, one of the things that we're very passionate about at Linda Miller State Farm is just that we get the opportunity to help people prepare for the risks that our everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and realize their dream. Now, that's really the State Farm mission.
right.
My small town, little disclosure, and probably not supposed to say, but my small town mentality and the atmosphere in our office is that we really take a holistic approach to insurance. And that means asking these deeper questions, finding out what's important, what would happen if, one of the toughest things that we talk about is life insurance. More often than not, people have it at work and they assume, hey, I have
Yeah.
it's perfect. Well, I had a conversation a couple of weeks back. A gal had called and I'd earned her trust, from helping with her home and auto and things of the sort. And she said, Toni, here's the thing. I'm about to have open heart surgery. And I just realized once I called my work that I only have $50,000. As you know, I still have the mortgage, still have some kids that I'm looking after. Can you help me? At that point, I had some suggestions and an option. It wasn't going to be the best option for her. So really just pushing people to think about these things. And whether you call me or not, call your employer. Ask them, what do I have? How does this work? Is this accidental? Find out more.
Yeah. And sit down and talk with a professional.
Exactly.
And figure out exactly what the needs are. And so, yeah, great advice. And also, Toni, thank you so much for coming in today and being willing to do this last minute. It was just a couple of days ago that we were sitting down a meeting. So grateful that you came in to talk about this today. And also, we are grateful for one of our hometown sponsors. That is Brewed Awakening in Avoca. Stop in, get a great cup of coffee, and tell Bella that you saw her right here on this show and thank her for being a part of this, what we're doing here. Hit like, share, follow, maybe even subscribe. That would be great. That helps the algorithm to push out this great information that Toni was just talking about today, and even more people can see it. So we'll talk to you again very soon.
That sounds great, Todd. And also, if anyone is looking to visit the CenterSphere,
Yes.
Doesn't want to pay, just wants to visit, reach out. We'll get them in there.
Yep. Bennett Avenue, the Well Nest. That's where they meet on Tuesday mornings
8:30.
at 8:30. There you go. My name is Todd Studer, and we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.